a certain level of skill or training.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. Dena Diehl is with us from the Indiana Regional Medical Center. She is a nurse navigator, the nurse navigator, in fact, at the Women's Imaging Center. And wow, Indiana Regional Medical Center is a comprehensive breast center, and we're going to have a big event coming up there. Our conversation with Dena, brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted Best Personal Injury Law Firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Dena, it's not true that you live here all year long just waiting for that one event to come up every October, right?
Right, yeah.
You do other things.
I do,
Okay.
yes. We're very busy, actually.
Well, that's good news, actually.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, it's good that so many women, I think, are getting the message about the need to have your screening mammogram.
Yes, I think we're over 7,000 for October for screening mammograms, just in October, and that's busy for us.
Wow.
Yeah, and now we have those 3 locations where you can get your 3D mammogram, so it's keeping us busy.
Well, let's talk about that a little
Sure.
bit because, of course, Mammo Mondays at the main campus.
Yes, 7 to 3 every Monday, and you can just walk in. You don't have to have a physician order for a screening mammogram, so you can just come on in and we'll get you taken care of.
You can also make an appointment there, and you
Correct.
can make an appointment at the other 2 locations.
Correct.
Yeah, and those other 2 locations are IRMC at Chestnut Ridge, and now IRMC at Northern Cambria.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're hitting all of Indiana County.
It's pretty exciting to reach out into the Northern Cambria
Yes.
area, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because that's an area that really needs to have these services, and
does.
if we can cut the travel time,
Right.
maybe
Yeah.
that gets more people in to get their mammogram.
And there's a lot of older population that way, so for them to travel to Indiana, some of them just can't, so it's good that we are close for them.
That brings up something interesting, and that is the need for mammogram, no matter what age you happen to be.
Correct.
So let's talk about that a little bit. Who should be getting a mammogram, and are you ever too old that you should not you say, okay, I've done that and I'm good now?
So 40's pretty much the starting age for women, unless you have a family history or any issues. We have 90-some-year-olds with breast cancer, so there's not a cutoff. I mean, if you want to have treatment in your 90s, you should still get your mammograms, especially if you're going to do something about it. We want to make sure that, because it does happen. We have a couple right now, so.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So mammogram itself now is a whole different experience than mammogram 10 years ago, 15 years ago, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. We have very good mammogram techs. They're pretty quick with the process, and they're very gentle and kind, and I think they do very well at their job, so they make it a good experience for you.
And the technology is
Yes.
just so much more advanced. 3D
Yes.
mammography is now standard.
Correct.
But to find it here in Indiana County at 3 locations is
Yes,
pretty amazing.
It's pretty amazing, and the imaging's so much more high tech, and they're finding smaller cancers, which is good because the earlier the better to treat. So yes, it's amazing for this small town
Yeah.
to have all the technology we have.
Okay, so you can make your appointment at any of the 3 locations.
Correct.
Mammo Mondays are at the main campus
Yes.
on Mondays from 7 to 3. Mm-hmm. That's just walk in.
Correct.
Don't even need an appointment.
No.
But then there's Mammo Glam.
Yes, that's the 23rd, I believe. It's a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
It's from 4 to 6 p.m. We are scheduling mammograms during that time. Our breast team's going to be there, the physicians, and I will be there. We're going to have some fun stuff, some massages and mocktails, and Bella Spa's going to be doing some makeup.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to have some goodies, too, and some treats. And then we're giving away a KitchenAid mixer, too, as our prize. So that's a draw. But you don't even have to have your mammogram. If you already had it, you can just come in and talk with our doctors and meet our team and get some goodies. And
Well, the information that will be available, where else are you going to get the
Right.
entire team together
Right.
to be able to ask them whatever you want to ask them?
yeah, not too often. Not too often.
I would guess that this would be something that especially that would appeal to mothers and daughters together.
Yeah.
To team up together, because if the daughter has been getting mammograms and maybe mom hasn't, she can convince mom, come with me and we'll do it together. And the other way around, too.
Right. And this has taken place of what we used to do, Scaredy Cat Day. We kind of wanted to make it a one event this year just because of ever since COVID, people we want to draw them back. So yes, if you're afraid or, haven't had it in a while, this is a good time to come, and the experts will be there to guide you through and talk to you as well.
Yeah. You can call, by the way, 357-71882 RSVP. Let them know you're coming. That way they'll have all the materials that they need just in case. All right. So that is coming up on Monday, October 23rd from 4 to 6 p.m. Dena is the nurse navigator at the Women's Imaging Center. And for those who don't know, what does that mean?
So I am a nurse, and what I am is I'm the point of contact for a patient when they first have their abnormal diagnostic imaging that recommends them to have a biopsy. So they come to me after they have that, and I schedule them for their biopsy, and then I follow them through whether negative or positive, and the whole way through. If it's positive, their treatment, and if it's negative, any follow-up they need. So I'm the first person they see once they get that abnormal testing.
And you're with them every step of the way.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Those steps that they will have to take. Obviously, that's a scared time.
It is, and it's overwhelming because they have a lot thrown at them at first, all these doctor's appointments and their diagnosis, and, it's very overwhelming. And yeah.
So they're going to have the screening mammogram.
Correct.
And if it shows something abnormal, then they're going to get a second mammogram. And at some point they're going to meet you. Do you come before that second mammogram or after that?
No, I'm usually after,
after that.
Dr. Clark reads and recommends a biopsy. They come see me, and then we go from there.
Okay. So take me through that whole process because you're going to be the one that they come into contact with first as they're getting set for their biopsy.
So we schedule them. We go over the whole process of the biopsy. And then, most of all, we just wait till we find the results to guide them what the next step is. But I go through the whole scheduling process. And Dr. Clark's really good at explaining everything to them before they come see us. So we try and lay it all out for them so they're not, in the dark about anything.
You get a lot of questions.
We do. Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine. You encourage that.
Correct. Yeah. Knowledge is a good thing. So
sure.
And especially, a lot of people go on the internet and Google stuff, which isn't a good thing. So we try to give them everything we can possibly tell them beforehand.
Now, we had Dr. Margaret Clark in our first week. We had Dr. Billamoria with us last week, who is the surgeon. Between the two of them and you and Dr. Dan Clark and everybody else, I think that one of the things that we lose sight of is that it really does take an entire team when you're dealing with breast cancer.
It does, and I think we have a good team. We all work very well together and communicate, and it's a pretty good thing here in Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the age of 40. It's actually earlier for some folks who have a history or a genetic predisposition, right?
Or if they're having an issue too, But yeah.
When should self-examination begin?
I think at any age, whenever a teenager even, you can start doing breast exams because we have had teenagers with breast lumps, and so I think it's good at any age once you're a teenager and older to make sure you check your breasts out every month at least.
Yeah, and I'm assuming there's a technique that you should use for that.
Yes, and if anybody has any questions, we do have educational material and pamphlets for shower cards that they can hang in their shower to follow. Yeah.
Yeah. So that should be something that anybody can do anytime.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then the journey begins.
Yes.
Yeah. When you are involved in patient care and the journey includes mastectomy. Which is a very radical step for a lot of people and a very traumatic step for a lot of people.
It is.
That portion of the journey, you have to be really, really sensitive to them and be there for them really at any time.
Right, yeah. And it's a healing process for them, and some of them choose reconstruction, some of them don't. And we have Birdie's Closet, that helps offer them mastectomy products if they can't afford it. And yeah, it's a whole team process to get them through for sure.
Whether it's lumpectomy or mastectomy or whatever the procedure is, how long is the aftercare process?
It's all different with everybody. An incision can take from like a week to a month to heal. Everybody heals differently. Some women have no pain. Some women, they're sore for a while. It's all an individual, but usually it's not a bad procedure. the healing process is typically pretty quick for anybody.
And then the monitoring in future years, that becomes an important step too.
It is, yeah. I mean, typically Dr. Clark, if it's something she feels needs follow, she'll bring them back in 6 months to make sure everything's okay. And if, it's normal, like there's no issues, they can come back yearly. But if they're positive, it's a long road, years of monitoring and follow up with doctors and appointments. Yeah.
Which makes it even more important that you get screened so that if there is a problem, you're catching it as early as possible.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's why screening mammograms are an important first step in this whole process.
Yes.
If you do detect it early, that's going to change the entire outcome in terms of what has to be done in order to treat it. And then, your chances of success and of long-term viability are impacted as well.
Right.
All right. So I try to sound like I know what I'm talking about.
You sound very good.
I'm no Dena Diehl, let's put it that way. But that is Dena Diehl right across the microphone from me. So she is the nurse navigator at the Women's Imaging Center. I know that you are very, very proud of the entire team there. The Comprehensive Breast Center team is an amazing group of people that are caring and compassionate and really want this to turn out well for every patient.
Right. Yes, we do.
Terrific. All right. So Mammogram is coming up Monday, October 23rd, 4 to 6. The number to call to RSVP is 724-357-7188. Even if you're not due or you're not eligible for a mammogram, you want to get this information.
Yep.
You want them to be there.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. And the Love of Life 5K is coming up this Saturday.
Yes, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, Heather's going to come on a little bit later this week. We'll talk about that. Dena, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it. We'll try to look and see if we find you down the hall sometime when it's not October, too.
Sounds good.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. 24 minutes after 8 o'clock. And coming up, CBS Sports. In our next half hour, it's the Indiana County Veterans Providers Group here on Indiana in the Morning.
Are you looking for a career change or just starting out? Or are you an employer looking for the perfect employee or holiday help? Your hometown radio station's Rendem Media is excited to be offering you the opportunity of a lifetime. Your new career awaits you at Fall